Man, I love shade. I kind of believe that shade is like this beautiful gift from God or something. Like, I love sunny days, so it's weird that I also love shade so much, but I really love shade. So I just had an experience that really brought something to mind, and I really want to talk about it because it's something that just reminded me of something that I wish I had known when earlier in my life, and even now I really want to continue to feel it. I think it's a very important thing. And that thing is the assumption that you know or understand something when you have not fully absorbed or experienced it. And so here's what I mean. And this experience, by the way, if the person with whom I had this experience is watching, this is not at all meant to be a reflection on you individually. It really reminded me of a lot about my life. So frequently in life, we hear something. We hear about a new kind of food, or we hear about an idea, or we hear about a book, or a movie, or a place, or anything. And if it reminds us of something that we know, or maybe we've read something about it a little bit in the past or something, often our gut reaction is to say, oh, yeah, I know about that, or oh, that makes sense to me, I get it, or I understand. And in this particular case, I was explaining the books Think and Grow Rich and The Science of Getting Rich to somebody. And those books are huge books. Especially Think and Grow Rich is huge, actually. The Science of Getting Rich is only like 100 pages, but it's a very condensed 100 pages. And it says so itself. It says, hey, we've purposely left out all the fluff and are just getting straight to the principles here. And so then even with those books, after you read them, it's a challenge to understand them, and you really need to work hard to fully grasp what is being said there. And even once you have gone through them a few times and you basically get what's being said, there's a whole other level of actually applying what's being said and implementing that in your life. And it's kind of like this positivity thing. If I ask anybody, oh, should you be positive? Chances are you're going to say yes. I mean, there are a few people who are going to be snarky and sarcastic, and then there are a few people who really truly believe that positivity is it's kind of the wrong way of doing things, but probably at the end of the day, they're going to have their own replacement for positivity that's essentially going to be the same thing that I'm talking about when I say the word positivity. But words point to something, but they are not that thing. So for example, if I say tree, you might picture a tree, but you might not picture, let's say this exact tree. Or if I say tree, you might not picture this exact tree, or any other thing. And I have some picture in my head, and even that picture is not the thing. The picture is my recollection of the thing that I'm seeing. But, the most accurate way to describe this tree is to take somebody over and have them look at it and feel it and, hug it, smell it, taste it, whatever. I mean, again, even all of that stuff is not the thing, it's a representation of the thing. So when I say, hey, you should listen to the positive voice, and you say, got it, I'm listening to the positive voice, or no, you know what, I disagree with you. Oftentimes, at that level, you don't even know what you're disagreeing with. And then, let's take it one step further. Let's say you do listen to the whole argument, and you hear it, but you're like, that doesn't do it for me. I think that a different way is better. But if you haven't tried it, then you only understand it in your mind, but a lot of the details of the thing come out in the exercise of that thing. And that is one of the things too, where as much as I hate to admit it, things like age and experience and just time doing something actually do matter, because you have to build up this framework of things in your head. And perhaps actual age isn't as important as time having done something. But when you're older, you tend to have more experiences, although that is really not always the case. So really what it is, it's about how much time have you spent in pursuit of something. So why am I saying this? My positivity challenge is about actually changing my life. It is surprising to me to realize, number one, how difficult it is to maintain a consistent effort at doing something different than how you've done it before. And number two, how much I find myself, I'm now on my 10th day. So woohoo, I almost made it a third of the way through this challenge. And I'm already battling thoughts of, wow, I have nothing left to say, or I'm so redundant, or this is such a waste of time, or whatever the case may be. And I'm finding that actually listening to the positive voice is not as easy as I thought. I mean, yeah, you can do anything for a day. You can be like, boom, I'm gonna listen to the positive voice. But sustaining that kind of effort, that is a challenge. So as much as I want to add value to people's lives who are watching this, but this is also a chronicle of my journey. And what I can say at this point is that the journey is more difficult than I originally imagined, but it is also awesome. And it's kind of like climbing a mountain where you have these really difficult times, but every time you get to the top of one of those really difficult peaks, you see this beautiful vista, and you get to see not only a beautiful view of what's down below, but also new things that you couldn't see from the ground as you were looking up at the mountain. I really like hiking mountains. If you've never walked up a mountain, I would highly, highly recommend it. It is just, find a good mountain that people recommend, good trails and stuff, and just go, because maybe like an hour long is what I'm thinking. Not too long, but long enough where it's not just like, oh, I just walked up to the top of this hill, and it doesn't have to be a multi-day or even a whole day kind of hike, but just something where you get to change your perspective on life and on the world. So having said that, how is the actual positivity challenge going? Tough. I stayed up way too late last night. I woke up and I have had a relatively non-productive day, and I've definitely felt deflated in terms of my positivity. But I also noticed that is a natural feeling, that is a common feeling that I have. And if I get up and I move and I get excited and I get pumped and I exercise and I do stuff like that, that I actually do feel a lot better. So, wow, I really need to water this grass. Anyway, and I didn't do that this morning. I still haven't done it. I don't really know why I haven't done it, because I know that it would help me. So I'm going to go do that right now. It's interesting how often we know something might help us, but we don't do it. I think potentially part of the reason for that is because either we're not clear on our goals of why we really want it to help us, or deep down we have so much inertia in our lives that we don't really want to change things. We just want things to get easier, but we don't want to change to make things different. And so anyway, that is it. Hope this video wasn't too shaky. I did film it with my gimbal, but I was also walking around and looking at the back camera, so I can't see what's going on. So, okay, that's it. See ya.